It's day 2 of the dangal between India's wrestlers and the Wrestling Federation. The protesting crowd was considerably larger today than it was yesterday. We also saw a lot of political reactions coming in over there. Expected, given that the man accused of sexually exploiting young wrestlers is not just the president of the Wrestling Federation, but also a powerful BJP MP from Gonda. But first, let me update you on the latest developments. A delegation of the protesting wrestlers were invited to the Sports Ministry today. The Sports Minister wasn't present in this meeting. He was in Chandigarh. Now, the wrestlers weren't exactly happy with this meeting, and they want either the Prime Minister or the Home Minister to intervene. The ministry has given the Wrestling Federation, as you know, 72 hours to respond to the charges. Brijbhushan Sharan, who is the president of the Wrestling Federation, we are being told, is likely to resign at this annual general meeting, which is on Sunday. Now, it's important to note that his term is slated to end at this upcoming AGM. So the question is, will he hang on till then and not seek another term, or will he resign before that? Now, if he does the former, it would be an absolute insult to these protesting athletes. They turned up at the Jantar Mantar today morning to resume their protest. The wrestlers are saying they are not satisfied with the assurances that have been given by the Sports Ministry. In fact, they say a resignation is simply not enough. They want Brijbhushan Sharan to be behind bars, and the entire federation, they say, needs to shut down.
लोगों में सही बोल रहे थे कि अध्यक्ष जी बोल रहे हैं कि 22 को इस्तीफा देंगे। बात उनके इस्तीफे का नहीं हो रही है। इस्तीफा तो हम उनका लेके ही रहेंगे। अगर हमें और ज्यादा उकसाया गया तो हम उनको जेल में भी डलवाएंगे। हम चाहते हैं कि उनका इस्तीफा लीजिए और उन पे कार्रवाई की जाए।
इस्तीफा नहीं, फेडरेशन को भंग किया जाए। इस्तीफा लेके तो वो अपने लोगों को ही बिठाएंगे। हम इस्तीफा ना चाहते हुए फेडरेशन को भंग करना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि जो स्टेट की जो संघ है, कुश्ती संघ जो स्टेटों के हैं, उनमें भी सभी उन्हीं के लोग बैठे हैं जो उन्हीं के इशारे पे काम करते हैं। आप देख सकते हैं सारे हिंदुस्तान का जो आज जो रेसलिंग का जो हब है वो यहाँ बैठा है, जो रेसलिंग की करीम है वो यहाँ बैठी है। वो अपने फ्यूचर के लिए लड़ रही है यहाँ पे आके। और जो बोल रहे थे कि कोई सामने आ जाए तो मैं फांसी पे लटक जाऊंगा, जो अध्यक्ष जी ने हमारे ने एक बयान दिया था। पहले तो 1-2 लड़कियां थी, अब हमारे साथ 5 से 6 लड़कियां हैं विद प्रूफ हैं। तो ऐसी चीज नहीं कि हम झूठ बोल रहे हैं या कोई ऐसा ही। अगर सुनवाई नहीं होगी तो हम पुलिस का सहारा भी लेंगे, केस का सहारा भी लेंगे। केस करके हम आगे बढ़ेंगे।
मीटिंग में सिर्फ आश्वासन ही दिया गया है, ऐसा कोई ठोस हमें नहीं बताया गया कि हाँ हम कोई ठोस कदम लेंगे या कोई एक्शन लेंगे। बस आश्वासन दिया गया है, लेकिन उस आश्वासन से हम खुश नहीं हैं। हम, जैसा कि बजरंग ने बताया, हम पूरी रेसलिंग फेडरेशन को भंग करवाना चाहते हैं और जितनी भी स्टेट्स हैं वहां भी सबकी फेडरेशन, मतलब रेसलिंग फेडरेशन जो है वो भंग होनी चाहिए। एक नई शुरुआत होनी चाहिए, एक फ्रेश स्टार्ट होनी चाहिए। एक बार फिर से मैं अपने पीएम सर को रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहती हूँ कि आज सब लोग यहाँ जो एक मेडलिस्ट बैठे हैं, पूरी रेसलिंग की क्रीम यहाँ बैठी है, अपनी ट्रेनिंग छोड़ के बैठी है, अपने घर परिवार को छोड़ के बैठी है, तो बस इसी उम्मीद में बैठी है कि आप हमारे साथ न्याय करेंगे।
What we are seeing is a massive scandal unfolding in one of India's most prolific sport. Yet the union government was largely silent. It took more than 24 hours for the sports ministry to say something. But as you would expect, the opposition was rather vocal. Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi tweeted in support of the wrestlers. She said the voices of these athletes needs to be heard and the allegations should be investigated. Now, the wrestlers have made it clear that they do not want to politicize this protest. In fact, when Communist leader Brinda Karat tried to join the protest, she was politely asked to leave the stage. Take a look. Okay, so those are the pictures on your screens. You have Bajrang Pulia, who's rather politely telling her, please just step to one side there. And she's smiling along. I think, there you are.
आप नीचे आ जाइए मैडम, प्लीज आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है। मैडम प्लीज इसको मैडम प्लीज इसको राजनीति मुद्दा ना बनाइए प्लीज। आप नीचे चले जाइए प्लीज, प्लीज मैडम नीचे
यही
चले
तो
जाइए
थे
प्लीज,
बिल्कुल।
आपसे हाथ जोड़ के रिक्वेस्ट है, आप सामने आ जाइए मैडम प्लीज, आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है। ये खिलाड़ियों का धरना है ये।
Okay, so a lot of people are saying that there is something political about this protest, but the wrestlers they're trying to make a point when Brinda Karat comes and our organization comes holding that little placard that please get off the stage. This is a protest by athletes. We don't want politicians here. Now remember, we are not talking about small allegations here. The charges against Brijbhushan Singh range from corruption and mental torture to sexual assault as well. So the wrestlers are right when they say that a resignation is not the ultimate goal. It must be investigation and then jail. They have disbanded from Jantar Mantar for the night, but they will be back tomorrow. So it will be day 3 of their protests in Delhi tomorrow. Imagine this. India's biggest Olympians, most well-known Olympians, out on the streets in Delhi protesting against a federation and a president they say has sexually exploited girls and indulged in corruption and harassment. Now we are hearing that officially all the wrestlers could go to the police station and file a complaint against Brijbhushan Sharan. Sports Minister Anurag Thakur has reacted to the protest after almost 24 hours. He says he's in Chandigarh, he will be heading to Delhi, and he will be meeting protesting wrestlers. This has just come in. Listen in.
मैं निश्चित तौर पर अपना कार्यक्रम बाकी छोड़ के वापस दिल्ली जा रहा हूं। मैं उनसे मिलूंगा भी और बातचीत भी करेंगे, सुनेंगे भी। और मैं यही कह सकता हूं खिलाड़ियों के हितों के लिए और खेल के हित के लिए पहले भी सरकार ने लगातार कदम उठाए हैं, अब भी सरकार ने कहीं कोई संकोच नहीं किया, तुरंत कार्रवाई करते हुए हमने नोटिस भी दिया था और भी आगे जो कदम उठाने पड़ेंगे वो भी उठाएंगे।
Let me go across to our guests who are joining us this evening. Geetika Jakhar is an ex-wrestler joining us. Yogeshwar Dutt is a wrestler. He's a bronze medalist at the Summer Olympics, also a gold medalist at the CWG. Good to have you here, Yogeshwar Dutt. Rahul Mehra is a senior lawyer at the Supreme Court, joining us on the broadcast as well. And Karan Ambardar is a sports analyst. So we are hearing from both legal voices. We are hearing from voices within the sports community as well. योगेश्वर दत्त, सबसे पहले तो मैं आपके पास आना चाहती हूं। स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्टर का पहला बयान आया है। 24 घंटे हो गए हैं कि देश के सबसे बड़े खिलाड़ी जो हैं प्रोटेस्ट में बाहर सड़कों पे बैठ गए हैं। स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्टर का 24 घंटे बाद पहला रिएक्शन आया है और वो कह रहा है कि हाँ, जो चार्जेस हैं वो सीरियस हैं और अब ओके, I think we have lost our connection with Yogeshwar Dutt, so we'll try and go across to him in just a bit. गीतिका, मैं आपके पास आ सकती हूँ। आप खुद एक एक्स रेसलर रही हुई हैं। आप मुझे बताइए कि ये जितने चार्जेस लगाए जा रहे हैं इस समय, आप क्यों मानती हैं कि ये चार्जेस गलत हैं?
देखिए, जैसे कि मैं कल सुन रही थी जब ये एजिटेशन, पहली बात तो हम लोगों को बहुत आई पर्सनली वाज रियली शॉक्ड टू हियर कि इस तरीके से जंतर मंतर पे हम लोगों का रेसलर्स बैठे हैं। देन आई टॉक टू समवन और तब मैंने सोशल मीडिया के थ्रू और मुझे पता चला कि ये चीजें हैं। देन आई हर्ड कि विनेश एंड एवरीबॉडी वाज सिटिंग देयर सेड कि कैंप में नाम का प्रॉब्लम है कि हमारा कैंप में नाम नहीं डाला। उसके बाद वो जो बाइट थी, जो इंटरव्यू था, वो एंड होते होते ये चीज सेक्सुअल हैरासमेंट का जो है वो मुद्दा उठाया गया। सो मुझे पर्सनली स्टार्टिंग में ऐसा लग रहा था कि शायद क्योंकि मुझे खुद पता था कि बहुत सारे लोगों का नाम, क्योंकि वो नहीं खेले थे नेशनल्स, और जो कि एक जरूरी है कि हम नेशनल खेल करके फिर हम कैंप का एक पार्ट बनते हैं, जो कि मैंडेटरी इस बार शायद फेडरेशन ने किया था, बल्कि इस बार नहीं कह सकते, क्योंकि मैं खुद कई बार, मतलब ज्यादातर हर बार इट इज मैंडेटरी फ्रॉम रेसलिंग फेडरेशन कि आप नेशनल्स खेलें, उसके बाद आप कैंप में आए। तो कभी अगर कोई इंजरी है तो हमें वी हैव टू सबमिट
आप कह रहे हो मुझे
सर्टिफिकेट। हेलो,
गीतिका, आप मुझे क्या बोल रहे हो? अब मेरे को गीतिका जी, आप क्या बोलने की कोशिश कर रही हैं, मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है। क्या आप ये बोल रही हैं दैट द फेडरेशन चेंज्ड रूल्स, जिससे ये सारे खिलाड़ी जो हैं अपसेट हैं, इसलिए
नहीं नहीं,
आके
आई
इन्होंने
वांट टू से,
बहानाबाजी करके
नहीं नहीं,
ये
आई वांट टू
बृजभूषण
से,
शरण को हटाना चाहते हैं? हाँ,
आई वांट टू से कि हमेशा से यही तरीका रहा है कि नेशनल खेल करके हम कैंप में आएंगे, चाहे हम ओलंपिक मेडलिस्ट हैं, लेकिन ओलंपिक मेडल के बाद भी जो नेक्स्ट कैंप लगेगा, तो उसमें अगर हम नेशनल खेलते हैं, हम मतलब कोर, हम टीम में हमें अगर हमें हिस्सा लेना है, तो वी हैव टू पार्टिसिपेट इन नेशनल्स। तो मुझे लगा शायद इनके नाम ड्रॉप कर
ठीक है।
दिए, इस वजह से ये रीजन है, लेकिन बाद में पता चला कि इसमें एलिगेशंस इतने सीवियर एलिगेशंस हैं, ये सब चीजें तो सुनकर मतलब आई पर्सनली वाज वेरी शॉक्ड, क्योंकि मैं फ्रॉम
आप बहुत शॉक थी, यू आर वेरी शॉक्ड, गीतिका, यू आर टेलिंग मी you
जी
yourself are a wrestler. You
जी
yourself are a wrestler. Were you aware that young girls, young wrestlers were being exploited by the president of the Wrestling Federation of India, as some of India's top Olympians are claiming right now in front of the national press? As you said, charges are very serious. तो
जी,
ये बात तो
बिल्कुल
देखिए
बिल्कुल
सुनने में आई जाती है, राइट? आप उस कम्युनिटी से हैं।
बिल्कुल,
हाँ,
क्योंकि मैंने आई हैव बीन अ पार्ट ऑफ रेसलिंग कैंप फॉर फ्रॉम 1999, from a very long time, and I was a part
हाँ,
till
हम्म,
2019. तो इसलिए मुझे ज्यादा
ठीक
शॉक
है।
लगा ये सब चीज सुनकर कि
नहीं तो
पिछले 20
आप
सालों से
ये आपको शौक इसलिए लगा क्योंकि, गीतिका जी, ये शौक आपको इसलिए लगा क्योंकि आपने ये बातें कभी देखी और सुनी नहीं थी, इसलिए?
देखी और सुनी नहीं। जी जी, दिस इज द पॉइंट।
ओके,
और अगर इस
ओके,
तरीके
दैट इज
की
द
ये
पॉइंट यू आर
चीज,
ट्राइंग टू मेक। ओके,
जी
सो
जी
essentially, essentially what Geetika ji is trying to tell us, she herself is an ex-wrestler, and she's saying that she's been part of the community for a very long time, and she has not heard of, the president of the Wrestling Federation of India sexually exploiting girls. So that is what some, that is someone who was part of the circuit is saying. Rahul Mehra, what do you make of the way the entire sequence of events has played out? It's rather unfortunate that you have India's top athletes, its Olympians, people who have got us glory to this country, sitting out on the streets making these horrible allegations. And what frankly stuns me is the fact that for the last 24 hours, the government of India doesn't seem to have understood that what is happening is of a very, very serious nature. This is not just scandalous. This will, I don't know what this will do to families who are hoping that their young children enter sport. Because come to think of it, if my daughter has potential and I have to send her to a camp, I'm looking at this story unfold and I'm seeing women like Vinesh, women like Sakshi come out and say that young girls are being sexually exploited in camps. As a parent or a guardian, will I ever send my kid to a camp again? So no, I mean, the ramifications are far larger than what we are seeing right now.
Absolutely. Just to put my point across, I would like to just start by saying it's extremely unfortunate that the medal winners at the Olympics, Asian Games, and Commonwealth, the top of the top, the cream of Indian wrestling, is right now as wrestlers. They are protesting at Jantar Mantar, and nobody in the powers that be is willing to give them even lending an ear to be heard. Forget about solving the problem. This is not only an issue of bad administration, it is an issue which actually there's a criminality involved out here. It's very serious charges of sleaze, of all sorts of misconduct by an administrator, none less than the president of a national sports federation. Sexual harassment of the worst kind, both physical, mental, emotional, death threats being extended. I mean, what kind of sports are we managing in India? I've been fighting this for last 22 years now. I started in the year 99, 2000 when I took BCCI to court. In those days, there were allegations that all sorts of things happened during selections and favors are being sought by the selectors from some of the parents of, the prominent, the budding athlete, cricketers who are coming up. Make no mistake about it. it's not only limited to wrestling. Unfortunately, we don't have mechanisms in Indian sports administration. The Vishakha judgment has been flouted with impunity. There is a Sexual Harassment Prevention Act of 2013, which has been absolutely thrown to pieces. And, there is a clause in the sports code, page 85, 86, 87. There is a directive from the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Government of India, on 16th of August, 2010, which is 12 years back, that by 31st of August, that is within 15 days of the issuance of that notice in 2010, by 31st of August 2010, all national sports federations have to have their own rules and bylaws regarding prevention of sexual harassment. And follow the Vishakha guidelines, have your internal complaint committees, ensure a mechanism is there, have the chairperson as a woman, have NGOs, primarily women from NGOs, reputed NGOs, and more than 50% of the members ought to be women. Now, there is another clause while granting recognition to the national sports federations, which is an annual process by the Government of India, Ministry of Youth Affairs, where you have to, ensure that the ministry is satisfied that you have this mechanism as regards the sexual harassment prevention is concerned. Now, here is a body which has flouted it, and there is a directive that in case you don't have it, then this can be taken as a ground to de-recognize your annual recognition, and therefore you lose the right to select Team India and represent India as a national sports federation. My question to the Ministry of Youth Affairs and to the minister concerned, Mr. Thakur, is why is it that that clause is not being invoked and the entire Wrestling Federation of India is not being suspended immediately with immediate effect when there is a violation for last 12 and a half years? And number two, there is
it's a good point.
There is a judgment which has come in on 16th of August 2022 from Delhi High Court Division Bench in my own public interest litigation, where at least minimum of 25% prominent athletes of outstanding merit, and in this case, Olympians, Asian Games medal winners, Commonwealth Game medal winners who are wrestlers, ought to be in the management and also in the General Assembly of the Wrestling Federation of India and every national sports federation.
Absolutely.
Why is it that none of these national icons of India as wrestlers are a part of that body? And again, the sports code says that if you don't have this mandate, you don't have these people who are sports persons of outstanding merit in your executive and general assembly, you shall be suspended and de-recognized. So what is this 72-hour business of notice being given? A complete sham. This is a government, we take pride in this government of the fact that there is a direct connect of the Prime Minister of this country. The Honorable Prime Minister has a direct connect with the sports persons. He picks up his phone call, he tweets all the time. Why is it that the Prime Minister is silent and not picking up the phone call and assuring these wrestlers who are at Jantar Mantar in this biting cold?
Which is curious. Rahul, give me a minute. That is curious, isn't it? That is very curious.
The only
and is there some politics behind this? Give me a minute. Will you give me a minute, because I have Yogeshwar Dutt who's joining me as well. Let's quickly.
Who's the president of the Wrestling Federation of India, who is belonging to the political party. Now you need to, which is why I keep saying, keep politics.
But the fact is, the guy's name has.
Politicians out of sports.
My God, just take a look at the list I have. Almost every sporting federation is being headed by a politician at this point of time, Rahul Mehra.
You're right, and that is my point.
That's a lot of cleaning. That is a lot of cleaning that needs to be done. Give me a minute. That's a case coming up. Give me a minute. Yogeshwar Dutt, आप wrestler हैं.
In the Supreme Court.
चलिए, let's see what happens to that. Yogeshwar Dutt, आपने राहुल मेहरा की तो बात सुन ली, आपने उनकी भी बात सुनी. आज जो जंतर मंतर पे दोबारा थे, आपके हमारे जो एथलीट्स हैं, रेसलर्स हैं, आज दूसरे दिन पहुंचे हैं प्रोटेस्ट करने, कल वो तीसरे दिन पहुंचेंगे. अब जो बृजभूषण हैं शरण हमारे स्क्रीन्स पे हैं, वो कह रहे हैं प्रूफ कहां है. आपने एलिगेशन तो लगा दिया कि सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट मैंने किया है, सेक्सुअल एक्सप्लॉयटेशन किया है इन लड़कियों का. प्रूफ कहां है? प्रूफ लाके दीजिए, तब बात करेंगे. अब आप मुझे बताइए कि ये जो जनरल बॉडी मीटिंग होने वाली है इस संडे को, इससे आपको कुछ उम्मीद है या नहीं है? क्योंकि राहुल मेहरा तो कह रहे हैं ये पूरा शैम है.
देखिए, ये जो आरोप लगाए हैं खिलाड़ियों ने, ये बड़े दुखद है भारतीय कुश्ती के लिए. और इसकी मैं बिल्कुल कहूँगा इसकी जांच होनी चाहिए, चाहे जांच, क्योंकि खिलाड़ी संतुष्ट होना चाहिए, खिलाड़ी मेहनत करता है, देश का नाम रोशन करता है। और ये जो 2 दिन से हमारे खिलाड़ी जंतर मंतर पे प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं, ये ऐसी चीजें नहीं होनी चाहिए। फिर कुश्ती के पिछले कुछ 1-1.5 साल से कुश्ती के साथ बड़ी दुखद खबरें ये होती आई है, और ये भी बड़ी दुखद खबर हमारे लिए। इसलिए जो भी खिलाड़ियों ने जो इल्जाम लगाया है, जो आरोप लगाए हैं, तो इसकी जांच सरकार को करनी चाहिए। हम तो यही कहेंगे हमारे गृह मंत्रालय, गृह मंत्री जी से, खेल मंत्री से इसकी जांच हो और न्याय होना चाहिए इस चीज का।
न्याय होना चाहिए योगेश्वर जी, न्याय तो होना चाहिए, लेकिन मुझे एक बात बताइए, आप यू आर पार्ट ऑफ द रेसलिंग इकोसिस्टम, आप रेसलिंग की दुनिया को जानते हैं, आप फेडरेशन को ध्यान से देखते हैं, आप लोग बहुत सारी चीजें सुनते हैं। मैं ये जानना चाहती हूं कि अगर इतने साल से यंग लड़कियों का इस तरह एक्सप्लॉयटेशन हो रहा था, चलिए वो एम्बेजलमेंट, करप्शन, हैरेसमेंट एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा 2 मिनट के लिए मैं छोड़ भी दूं, लेकिन अगर यंग एथलीट्स का, यंग रेसलर्स का इस तरह से सेक्सुअल एक्सप्लॉयटेशन हो रहा था, तो क्या ये बातें आप लोगों ने कभी सुनी, और सुनी तो ये बात कभी बाहर क्यों नहीं आई? Why did it take, India's top Olympians to come out together, sit on the streets and then speak about it?
देखिए 2017 रियो ओलंपिक के बाद मैं खासकर ये, क्योंकि मैं अपनी एकेडमी चलाता हूँ और रेसलिंग के वैसे टच में रहे, पर किसी सीनियर खिलाड़ी या किसी कैंप में या कहीं भी हम टच नहीं रहे, और किसी भी उससे फेडरेशन के टच में नहीं था। मैं आज तक, मैं 2016 के बाद पर्सनली तो मैं शायद एक बार भी अध्यक्ष ब्रिजभूषण से नहीं मिला हूँगा, क्योंकि हमारा कोई काम नहीं था। और ये चीजें 1-2 बार हमें सुन में नहीं आई, कुछ ऐसी बातें मैंने बोला भी कि भाई कोई अगर ऐसा है तो एक बार हमारे सामने लेके आओ, हम उसके लिए खड़े होंगे, पर सामने कोई नहीं आया। अगर सामने कोई नहीं आता है तो उसमें आप और मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकते जब तक आपके पास विक्टिम नहीं हो। तो ये चीजें, क्योंकि ये तो हर जगह बोली जाती है, कोई भी ये चीजें बोल देता है, और उस टाइम पे कोई आया नहीं। जिस तरीके से ओपन तरीके से विनेश ने ये चीजें बोली हैं, ऐसा कोई बोलने वाला नहीं था। और विनेश पहलवानों में या तो उसको हमसे लड़कियों में महिला पहलवान है तो हमसे ज्यादा उसको लड़कियों का पता है। आज तक किसी लड़की से मेरी इस विषय पे, ऐसे किसी लड़की ने मेरे को ये नहीं बताया, क्योंकि हमारे हरियाणा में कल्चर भी ऐसा है कि थोड़ी एक शर्म होती है। आदमी से कोई भी उसका सगा रियल ब्रदर ही क्यों ना, उसको भी वो बातें नहीं बोल पाती वो, इसलिए वो भी दूरी हो सकती है हमारे आपस में तालमेल में। हमारी महिला पहलवानों में वो चीजें हमें नहीं बताई गई। कभी कभी ऐसी बात आती, पर कोई सामने बोलने वाला ये नहीं था कि हाँ हमारे साथ ऐसा हुआ है, हमारी लड़ाई लड़ो। पर ये जो चीज अब आई है, तो मेरा मानना है कि इसमें जो भी है उसको सामने आना चाहिए, और ये लड़ाई लड़नी चाहिए। कोई भी खेल हो, बातें कुश्ती की नहीं है, किसी भी खेल की बात हो, तो उसमें न्याय होना चाहिए खिलाड़ियों के साथ। ये चीजें हैं, और ये बड़ा गंभीर विषय है हमारे लिए।
Karan, the fact is that even now, all the girls, all the wrestlers who are at Jantar Mantar protesting, and they will be protesting tomorrow for a 3rd day, they have claimed that they have proof. But not one of them has said that they have been exploited. They are saying they know of girls who have been exploited, and they have proof of that. So to produce proof will be very important here. But what gets my goat is the fact that Brijbhushan Sharan is completely brazening this out. I mean, to first say, all charges are baseless. If even a single charge is proved, I will hang myself, etc., etc. Now, we know he's a Bahubali from Uttar Pradesh, just by the way, and he's been with the federation for the longest time, I think 20 years. But the fact is that these are very grave allegations. And what you would assume in the natural course of things is, all right, such grave allegations have been made against you, your party forces you or your government forces you to step aside pending an investigation. That has not happened. Instead, what we are being told is कि Sunday को देखेंगे. Sunday को, they are meeting, there will be a general body meeting, and उसमें someone will propose, why don't you resign pending an investigation, and he will resign. I mean, the guy should be sacked. You're giving him an honorable exit if you're asking him to resign.
Is that for me?
Yeah, that was for you, Karan.
Okay, yeah. Just before I come to the question, just wanted to say, the government. I think we should just credit the government, the top boss at least, who's made an environment, an atmosphere, an ecosystem where these athletes today feel empowered enough to step out, and even though it's shameful that they have to, but they still feel empowered enough to get on the streets and raise and revolt against a federation that is corrupted. And of course, involved in many other malpractice. So I think that little credit should go there. Having said that, yes, he should not be given an honorable exit. Absolutely not. I think my friend on the panel, he explained the legal proceedings that will take course from here, even if he resigns, because I think that's what the intention of the athletes is. They have made it very clear that it's not just a resignation. We would like to see him behind the bars. Yes, of course, they'll have to produce proof for that. I think we're moving in the right direction. We're moving at the right pace. A lot of people are saying that it took the government more than 24 hours to react to this. It's a muck that has been in the system for a while, the whole sports ecosystem. We've seen a cleanup in the Football Federation, the Hockey Federation, of course, the Indian Olympic Association as well. So I think, these things will keep tumbling out. We have to slowly but surely deal with them. And I think what the government currently is doing, they're going at a slow pace, but they are headed in the right direction. And I think slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So you should, the government should stay on course of what they're doing right now and just clean up this mess. I'm sure what happened to the other federation, this is exactly what's going to happen to the Wrestling Federation as well. And it's high time.
Okay, they say trust the process. Yes, it is high time. They say trust the process, but can the process be trusted here? Because Karan, you're saying credit needs to be given to the top boss. Vinesh at least has claimed yesterday, and Rahul, in case you want to come in here, Vinesh has claimed yesterday that she and her parents went after Tokyo, went and met the Prime Minister, told them exactly what is happening in the federation, and yet nothing was done. Look, fact is that if you have we are a country that hopes to be hosting the Olympics one day. It's an official pitch. It's an official election pitch in this country that Ahmedabad will be the host city for an Olympic 10, 20, 30 years down the line. It's a stated ambition. In a country where you're hoping to host an Olympic, you have India's top Olympians on the streets asking for justice. It seems that all the advances that we have made in sport, this is 5 steps back. Because here you have a guy, Rahul Mehra, who, as I'm saying, is completely brazening it out.
Let's call spade a spade. Let's not be very colorful in our language and say that, let's give the due where it's deserved. First of all, let's be very clear about it. None of these reforms of IOA, Hockey India, whatever Karan has just mentioned, they are all out of judicial activism. Every single one of them is in the case. Most of the cases, 99.9% of the cases, the judgments have come in my personal, public interest litigations, including the one that he's referred to. And each one of them was hotly contested for more than a decade, objected to by the government of India. So despite the system, these reforms are happening, not because of it. So please do not give credit to the government where it's not deserved. So that's number one. As far as the Honorable Prime Minister is concerned, I have nothing much to say. All I'm saying is I'm requesting that if he is hands-on with the players, which he is, then what is keeping him away from making that call? Please make that call, diffuse the situation, take this person to the gallows, ask him to step aside, because there cannot be any free and fair inquiry if he's manning that top position. I think this is only prudent, logical, reasonable expectation of any sensible person who needs to be inquired about. Number two, the entire system is rotten. Most of these people do not belong. Their entire being is to exploit the sporting administrative system. They are not there because of the love of the sport, so they claim. They are there because they are eating into the vitals of Indian sports. And let's call spade a spade. Let's have the courage to do so because our sports persons have the courage, not because of the government of the day. That courage is because they've been driven up the wall. That courage is because they feel that now is the time because heavens have fallen, not because of any leadership. So let's just be honest about it. It's the biggest disservice is when people like Geetika, with all due respect to my, to the young lady, I don't know if there is pressure on her. We need to find out. I just did a quick Wikipedia on Geetika and I found she's a DSP in police in Haryana. Her father is an officer in the government of Haryana. Haryana, we know who's running Haryana right now. Which political party. Is it the same person who is also an MP of that political party? I'm not blaming anybody, but I'm saying don't do disservice. Do we have credit? Do we have a deficit in trust in the sports administrators in this country? Yes. Do we have trust, absolute trust in our Olympians, in our wrestlers and sports persons who have brought laurels to the country? Yes. Who would we believe? Who would Geetika believe? The allegation of Fogart or the claim of this president of Wrestling Federation of India? I think the entire India in unison, we are all waiting for the proof. We are all waiting for those allegations to be substantiated. We are all waiting for those complaints to be lodged. But prima facie, I would any day put my heart and soul behind my Olympians and the people who have brought laurels, who have absolutely no axe to grind, who perform despite the system. And I will completely disbelieve these administrators who have only their personal axe to grind and are deeply ridden in conflict of interest in this country. And our politicians who bring dirty politics, because that's what they know, that's what they practice all their life. They bring dirty politics into a pious area like sports. So let's be honest, let's do service to the sports and sports interest.
Karan, it's good. Actually, it's good that everyone is having this honest conversation about what has happened in one sport in India. I understand that this is not the only sport that is messed up. There are other federations which are equally dirty, mired with corruption, etc., etc. My question to you is this professionals versus politicians? Because just look at the list I have, and I'm going to read that out for you. Archery Association, who is the president? Arjun Munda, BJP. Football Federation, Kalyan Chaubey, BJP. Chalo, he's a footballer, maybe. Basketball Federation of India, again, who is the president? K. Govindaraj, National Congress, I beg your pardon. Judo Federation, Pratap Singh Bajwa, again, Congress. Skating Federation, Tulsi Agarwal, BJP. Badminton Association, who is the president? Hemant Biswa Sarma, BJP, Chief Minister of Assam. The list goes on. I have two more. Rifle Association, you have Radinder Singh, BJP. Brijbhushan Sharan Singh, BJP, of course, as far as the Wrestling Federation is concerned. Is the problem that we have politicians who may or may not be qualified, but super interested in, to become presidents of sporting federations? Is that the problem?
I don't subscribe to this structure of the administration, to be very honest. Personally, I feel that, yes, we do need a politician out there. That's to keep him as a connect between a sports federation and the central government or the state government. That doesn't mean that he runs the federation. Having said that, in a federation, yes, you need the sports person. And also, I think we need some specialized corporate people stepping in and, giving structure to a corporate structure, a solid corporate structure to every sporting administration in the country right now. Yes, what you said, is that the trouble? Maybe it is, because at some stage, as Rahul mentioned, the corruption has crept in. I mean, has always been there. It's just coming out now very openly. We saw the CWG scam. Again, that was a sports and a political nexus that was there. And this is going to keep on going on until unless, roles are defined. Limits are set, and an audit on a regular basis is done on these administrations. There is a lot of muck, as I mentioned earlier. This is, just the 4 federations have been cleaned up. I am sure there is going to be a lot of dirt coming out in the future amongst all these different sporting federations.
They say the sun is the best disinfectant, and maybe this is a moment that was long in the coming, and this is a moment that was much needed in Indian sport. Unfortunate, the scenes on our screens, but maybe this was necessary. We'll leave it there for the moment, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. But I do have a counter argument to people who say that politicians should not be running sport federations or be involved in, sporting bodies. Look at the case of Sandeep Singh, for example. He's been a vice captain of the Indian hockey team. He's the sports minister of Haryana and yet accused of sexual assault by a young coach. So the argument can work both ways. Anyhow, athletes, wrestlers prepping for a 3rd day of protest tomorrow. Tomorrow is when we believe they could be going to the police station to lodge an FIR, an official FIR against the man they say is a molester, a harasser. That's the president of the Wrestling Federation of India. A man who just, by the way, despite all this pressure, has still not resigned. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Slipping into a quick break on the show. There's more on the other side. Do stay with us.